The story begins with a young guy named Choi Ji-hoon. He's at the principal's office with his older sister, Ji-ye. Ji-hoon is a high school student who gets into a lot of fights and causes problems at school. His behavior is so bad that the principal calls Ji-ye, who's like his guardian, to come to school. Ji-ye tries to convince the principal to give her brother one more chance to change his attitude and be more obedient. But the principal can't take Ji-hoon's bad behavior anymore, especially when he disrespects the principal. So they kick Ji-hoon out of school. That night, Ji-hoon is online, searching for a new school. He finally finds a high school that people say has no rules, and most of the students are troublemakers. Ji-hoon is excited about it and plans to apply there. The next day, he goes to the high school, which used to be a prison but is now a school. As soon as he sets foot on the school grounds, he gets hit in the head with a ball, which he sees as a challenge to start a fight. With confidence, Ji-hoon challenges the tough guys who threw the ball at him to step up and face him. He gets ready to defend himself, but something unexpected happens. One of the troublemaker students looks down and says sorry to Ji-hoon. This confuses Ji-hoon because he was expecting a fight, not an apology. So he hurries to the teacher's office to enroll in the school. But he's surprised again because the teachers here are different from regular teachers. What Ji-hoon really likes about this school is that there aren't strict rules to get in. The only requirement is being good at fighting, which he enjoys. So he's accepted right away. Since he doesn't know where his class is, he asks a student named Kwon Chung-sik for directions. When he sees that Chung-sik looks neat and tidy, Ji-hoon underestimates him. But little does he know that Chung-sik is one of the strongest students in the school. When Ji-hoon gets to his classroom, he's all confident and ready to challenge the strongest students. But then, a student named Young-sik comes up to him and tells him that at this school, students can't just fight with each other whenever they want. That's why the troublemakers who threw the ball at Ji-hoon chose to say sorry instead of fighting. Ji-hoon doesn't take these rules seriously and thinks they're just a trend. A little while later, it's recess time, and all the students rush out of the classroom. Young-sik then leads Ji-hoon to the basement of the building. There he sees students having one-on-one battles. Young-sik explains that students are only allowed to fight in this special area, and it's like a bet between students and teachers. Then Young-sik drops a bombshell. The one who beats all the others in these fights becomes the leader of the students and gets to make the school rules. When Ji-hoon shows interest in joining the fights, Young-sik tells him that the title of the toughest and strongest student currently belongs to Chong Dae-ho, who's known as the Tiger and is the leader of the students. However, Dae-ho is missing after an accident. But Ji-hoon still has to defeat the other top 3 strong students. They're almost as good as Dae-ho in fighting. There's Ki-ta, who's famous for being a skilled wrestler and expert in judo martial arts. Then there's the psychopath king, who's not very old and really into Sun Gokong. The last one is Kwon Chung-sik, the student Ji-hoon met in the school corridor before. When Ji-hoon hears all of this, he gets really excited and goes straight to Chung-sik. He thinks Chung-sik is weak because of how he looks. Ji-hoon challenges Chung-sik to a fight, but Chung-sik refuses because it breaks the school rules. Then, Chung-sik's friends join in and strip Ji-hoon of his clothes. Surprisingly, despite his tough image and annoying behavior, Ji-hoon isn't embarrassed about wearing Hello Kitty underwear. This makes him a target of jokes at school, and he gets the nickname Hello Kitty. But he doesn't let it bother him and stays true to himself. The next day, Young-sik sees how determined Ji-hoon is to beat the strongest students and become the school leader. He tells Ji-hoon that he has to win 5 fights in a row to qualify for the 6th round, where he can challenge the 3 top students. Young-sik takes Ji-hoon to watch Chung-sik's fight against other students. Ji-hoon is impressed by Chung-sik's calm but deadly fighting style. However, this only makes Ji-hoon more eager to fight Chung-sik. Without hesitation, he signs up and joins the fighting club. In Ji-hoon's first fight, he wins easily, which amazes Young-sik and the people who saw it. After winning a few more fights, Ji-hoon starts to get a reputation as a tough fighter, and many people bet on him to win. On the other hand, there's a dishonest teacher who likes to bet on fights, and he's losing a lot of money because Ji-hoon keeps winning. So this teacher decides to do something to stop Ji-hoon from winning his next fight. Ji-hoon is surprised to find out that his next opponent is Ki-ta, one of the 3 strongest students in the school. Ji-hoon should have faced Ki-ta in the round of 16, but the dishonest teacher cheated and changed the order of the matches. He did this on purpose to make Ji-hoon lose and not be able to continue fighting. Young-sik suggests that Ji-hoon should give up because Ki-ta is a wrestler and judo expert, but Ji-hoon is determined to fight Ki-ta and beat him. At the beginning of the fight, Ji-hoon is struggling against Ki-ta's powerful attacks, and he gets knocked down several times. But then he takes off his shirt, and that helps him move better and makes it hard for Ki-ta to grab him. Surprisingly, this strategy works well because Ki-ta can't easily catch Ji-hoon anymore. Ji-hoon puts all his strength into bringing Ki-ta down and finally manages to defeat one of the school's strongest students, even though he's badly hurt. Young-sik and the audience cheer for Ji-hoon's win and call him Hello Kitty in a playful way. Ji-hoon earns respect from his classmates, even though they still call him Hello Kitty. Soon after, the Psychopath King comes to Ji-hoon's class and challenges him to the next fight, and Ji-hoon agrees. The Psychopath King turns out to be quite tough and can get up every time Ji-hoon knocks him down. When Ji-hoon gets tired, the Psychopath King launches an attack. It turns out that wearing out his opponents is the Psychopath King's tactic to win. But then, the Psychopath King loses his favorite toy, and his attention gets distracted. Ji-hoon takes advantage of this moment to defeat him. Right after Ji-hoon's fight with the Psychopath King, things got super quiet when a young guy walked into the battle area. This guy is Chong Dae-ho, the champion and leader of the students. It's a big surprise because he's been absent for a while, and everyone thought he was seriously hurt. But Dae-ho looks totally fine. Chung-sik asks him not to get involved in the fight because it goes against the rules, but Dae-ho doesn't listen. His goal this time is to break the rules by taking down everyone in the school. When everyone finds out that Dae-ho and Chung-sik are going to fight to decide who will be the school's ruler, Ji-hoon, Young-sik, and all the other students can't wait to see it. As expected, Dae-ho easily beats Kwon Chung-sik, one of the toughest students in the school. Ji-hoon is shocked to see that Dae-ho is way stronger and better at fighting than Chung-sik. Since Chung-sik got defeated, all his followers joined Dae-ho's group. And not just that, Dae-ho also defeats the Psychopath King and Ki-ta, so he becomes the champion and ruler of the school once again. Now that Dae-ho is the strongest student, he decides to get rid of the school's fighting club and let students fight if they want to. With time, more and more students join Dae-ho's group, including Young-sik, who decides to be part of Dae-ho's team. One day, Young-sik hears that Dae-ho plans to fight and possibly harm Ji-hoon. Young-sik still cares about Ji-hoon, whom he sees as a friend, so he tells Ji-hoon about the plan and suggests he leave school before Dae-ho can hurt him. However, Dae-ho overhears their conversation, even though Young-sik and Ji-hoon try to hide. Knowing that Young-sik has betrayed him, Dae-ho orders his guys to beat up Young-sik. Ji-hoon hears that Dae-ho hurt Young-sik and rushes to help him. Ji-hoon feels really sad and guilty because Young-sik got seriously hurt because of him. Dae-ho then challenges Ji-hoon to a fight. When Ji-hoon goes back home, he finds his sister deep in thought with mixed emotions. Ji-hoon and his sister are alone in the world without parents or any other family. Ji-yi always tries to understand Ji-hoon and wants him to have a good life because he's the only family she has. After having a heartfelt talk with his sister, Ji-hoon gains strength and decides to defeat Dae-ho to get revenge for what he did to Young-sik. Not long after, Ji-hoon goes back to school and accepts Dae-ho's challenge. But before fighting Dae-ho, he has to deal with Dae-ho's followers first. When Ji-hoon starts to feel overwhelmed and tired from getting beaten up by Dae-ho's guys, suddenly Chung-sik shows up, followed by the Psychopath King and Ki-ta. They've come to help Ji-hoon. While they're fighting Dae-ho's followers, Ji-hoon and Dae-ho have their own intense battle somewhere else. Dae-ho asks Ji-hoon to fight to the death, and Ji-hoon agrees. They have a fierce fight, with Dae-ho launching a very violent and brutal attack, and Ji-hoon doing his best to defend himself. Ji-hoon manages to defeat Daeho, even though he's hurt badly. After that, Ji-hoon becomes the champion and the new ruler of the school, which means he can make the rules now. He brings back the fighting club. The movie ends with Ji-hoon getting ready to fight Chung-sik, but we don't know who wins that fight. So the moral of the story is don't judge a fighter by their Hello Kitty underwear. Strength comes in surprising packages.